Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Okay, welcome back to the stream, guys. Hope you are doing well. Like always, make sure you go check out the Telegram channel, link into that in the description. Check it out if you want to, also in the live chat there as well. Post my trading setups there and setups for the week. Feel free to check that out. If you are looking for a broker, I've got my affiliate there to IC Markets. Go check that out if you want to. But yeah, another stream, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Got to break down the chart, see what's happening, see if we can find any opportunities. Again, whatever pairs you're looking at, feel free to let me know. Whatever markets, FX, commodities, indices, let me know. And also if you are looking at lower time frames as well, because I do look at a lot of the higher time frames, that is completely fine as well. Let me know in the chat and I'll take a look. Just let me know what time frames you're working on. But you're going to see what's happening in the charts. Again, not too much has happened. Still nursing my pound CHF trade from last week Monday. Again, you can see price is moving really sideways now, so it's just very choppy. Is basically ranging at that key level of support resistance. So you can see on the daily chart was support going through here, now it's resistance, but it's kind of trying to make its mind up of where it wants to go. So with this trade, probably could exit early, but I'm just going to see what happens with this one, because it is still technically kind of holding this level as resistance, meaning that sellers are still just about holding, but we do have support resistance now. It's formed either side of that level that the market does need to break out in order to see some momentum come back to life. But of course, when we are consolidating like that, it does mean that we are indeed waiting for a breakout, and the longer and the bigger the consolidation, the bigger the breakout normally. So we'll see what happens with that one, but yeah, still nursing that from last week. Hey Modi, what are you saying? Welcome to the stream. Pound USD, of course, we'll get into that. So yeah, Pound USD seeing some downside off the back of yesterday. So 1.26 was the level that I was looking at to see if we can hold this and see some upside, but the market is just moving very messy right now. It's difficult to really get some good quality trades in, especially from that level, because the market isn't really showing much respect to it. So for this one, I would focus more on the price action and the highs and lows of what the market is doing. I think that's just the market gapping up for the start of the week, so kind of ignore that a little bit. But yeah, we are steadily moving to the downside here. This is the resistance that we formed during the stream yesterday. And I said, yeah, as long as we can respect this, the market will probably see some downside and take out these lows. We pushed further than expected. Market tried to come back up, but you can see the market is still rolling over. So pound is looking slightly bearish here. Again, you can see where we are on the daily. Very strong resistance. Last time the market was trading above this, we had this crazy bearish momentum. So to break through this level, we do need to see a lot of momentum to take us higher. 1.3 up there is some nice targets to have, but we do need to see a lot of momentum for us to get there. We're just not seeing that for pound. So if this maintains, I do think pound can see a little bit more downside, more downside in the near future. We do have this level of support which gave us that prior higher low, and this one here as well. And these are the two levels where I think pound is headed towards. So this level here being the first area where we might see some buyers step back in, and if we don't, most likely this level where we'll see the buyers step back in. But it's just very corrective, so can't really find the best opportunities here. Maybe in the low time frames, like 15-minute, there might be some nice trades there, but from what I'm seeing, it doesn't make too much sense right now for pound. As things are still bearish, we've got support here, support there. If you are a buyer, these are areas where I'll look to get involved in if we get the necessary price action. But as of right now, looks like pound is slowly rolling over. Resistance is still holding there. But yeah, all in all, pound's very corrective, so I'm not getting too much information from that. Other than most likely we'll see pound drop again. Yeah, looking at the 15-minute time frame doesn't look too good as well. Probably will see that move there. So yeah, if you are looking for buyers and not already selling the pair, then those are the areas I'd focus on. Other than that, I'll probably leave price alone for now. Do you use core reports to take trades or strictly price action? No, I do not take. I do not look at COT reports. I just focus on price action for signals, analysis, entries, exits, all of that. So yeah, price action, 100%. Again, I never really used COT reports, so I don't really have too much knowledge on them, on how to use them. So I'm not going to really comment on if they're good or not, because probably not the right person to do that. But yeah, for me, price action is my tool of use. Hey, football highlights. Welcome back. Short on GZ. What is GZ? Pound ZAR? Is that pound ZAR? And NZD CAD. So yeah, I understand NZD CAD, but what's pound? What's GZ or GZ? Is that pound ZAR? But yeah, NZD CAD. So you said you were short on NZD CAD as well. Okay, so yeah, NZD CAD, we've seen some nice downside off the back of yesterday. Yeah, where have you entered this NZD CAD position here? Excuse me. Where have you entered? Have you entered recently, or is it from yesterday? Because we're finding some support now for NZD CAD in this area, and I'll say just watch out here. Because the market is still indeed definitely bearish. You can see, you know, we've had a pullback, really big pullback, and the market's dropped, and this could be another pullback for another move to the downside. But this area of support I'd watch out for. So if you just entered, I'd watch out. If your entry is up here, then yeah, you're probably well protected, can get a stop loss to break even, and just manage the trade how it goes there. But we are coming to some areas of support, and you can see here after this strong move to the upside, the market pulled back. And this is the area where we found that strong bullish momentum to create these highs here, and the market's now pulled back into that area and just gave us 2 wicks there. So you might see some upside for NZD CAD, but as long as we don't take out this resistance here, which is the daily resistance, we definitely could still fall. But we might see a pullback, maybe a lower high, something, and then if we can break through this, we can move further. But yeah, I'm looking at the higher time frames, and higher time frames are still bearish. So you know, I was still lean towards sells. But yeah, I'd rather look to sell the pair higher up there. Or now that we've seen some nice downside, I'd wait to see if we can form some lower highs and then get involved, just for more confirmation. Because right now we're still technically respecting that bullish structure on the left, and if we do hold this, we could actually see price rally again. So that's why I'll wait for some lower highs to get printed before, you know, I look to sell the pair. But high time frame do look bearish, so I do agree with that one. Back down to 0.81 if we can see that level snap. Yeah, NZD CAD still bearish in higher time frame, so if you can see that momentum continue, should see some more downside. Oh, okay, pound NZD. I was gonna say pound ZAR. I've never heard of anyone trade pound ZAR before. Pound NZD. So yeah, pound NZD is actually a pair I'm looking at to get involved in. Again, price action has not been the best with this one. Excuse me. But it looks like the market is respecting this trend line here, and I'm waiting for the market to give me a lower high before I do get involved. But it's overall been very, very choppy. Looks like the market's come into that, respected that level and that trend line. So I'm looking to see if I can get a lower high somewhere, and then I'll look to get involved, or another retest of that. That would be nice, and then get involved. But I do have a short bias for this one for pound NZD. This is one of the pairs that I did give out on my Telegram for the week. I'm looking at the market moving south back down into this support here. So I do still see a lot more downside for pound NZD. Just a little bit corrective in the price action, and normally when that is, I normally tend to wait for it to clear up first before I get involved. But in terms of you know, high time frame analysis bias, I'm bearish on this one, and you can see we are respecting this trend line pretty well so far. You know, we have seen some nice downside moves from that. So as long as we don't break through that trend line, I would expect pound NZD to see some more downside as well. And 1.91 will be the target of where I'm expecting price to go, 1.91. And we can go further. But yeah, I'm not sure where are your targets for pound NZD. You're looking for price to see, you know, intraday move, or you're looking for an intra-week move, looking for a swing? You know, what's your target for pound NZD? How far are you looking to take this one? But yeah, I do agree with the bias for pound NZD. Definitely bearish on that one. Do watch out though, because obviously you're short on pound NZD and you're short on NZD CAD, and obviously you're trading two markets, two pairs with NZD, the currency in, and one of them you're bearish on, the other one you're bullish on. For NZD, so do watch out for that, because NZD will kind of dictate the success of your trade. So if if pound NZD works, it's likely that NZD CAD will fail, and vice versa. If NZD CAD works, it's likely pound NZD will fail, because you know, you can't both have a weak New Zealand dollar and a strong New Zealand dollar at the same time. So you know, do be careful when you are trading the same currency, because it would tend to go the opposite directions. If you're trading the opposite direction, of course. But I do agree with the bias there. Hey Alpha, how are you doing? Hey, glad to see you again. Welcome to the stream. Currently in a GA trade, sell at 1.75460. Going during the pullback on the 1H time frame. Stop loss 1.75 target. Okay, nice. So yeah, I do have a bearish bias for pound Aussie as well. I'm looking at this one coming a lot lower. Getting a bit more of a swing target there, but even from an intraday perspective, we finally have broken out this consolidation here. So I'm expecting the market to head south as long as we don't break back in. So far, a little bit corrective for my liking, but the market is still making lower lows and lower highs, which is the key thing I'm looking out for. So as long as we keep moving like that, keep making those lower lows and lower highs, we are likely to continue south and move to the downside. So yeah, hourly time frame, nice pullbacks there. Again, a little bit corrective as I said, but a pullback is a pullback. We see entry 1.75460, 75460, 75460. Okay, so that's around about here-ish. Okay, so the stop loss is the key thing here. 1.74450, 74450. Okay, you drop into the low. Okay, is your stop loss above that wick there? 450. Oh, okay. So your stop loss. Oh, you stop loss at break even or something. Because if you sold the market at 1.75 and your stop loss at 1.74, no, yeah, don't mind me. I was reading your targets. Your stop loss, my bad. 1.75 700, 1.75 700. Okay, so that's above these highs here. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I got completely confused there. I was reading your target as your stop loss. But yeah, your stop loss is above the structure, so that makes complete sense. The market has just gone and taken out these lows here on the left, so that means we've broken through that structure. So if the market is going to head higher and take your stop loss, that means that the trend is changing. So your stop loss is in a nice area. Whereabouts is your target? 1.74450. Okay, so that's down at these areas here. Okay, so at this, okay, so we've got a nice little gap there as well in that kind of area. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense there. So there is a good likelihood that we could continue this corrective behavior into that gap, and we might see a correction off the back of that. But yeah, that makes a load of sense there. I was a little bit lost, but it makes a load of sense. So yeah, I do have the high time frame bearish. £4 AUD, and obviously since we're broken out that consolidation, the market has been trending nicely to the downside, making those lower lows and lower highs. So really nice stop loss placement there as well, and yeah, good target placement as well. We've got a nice gap that the market is likely to come and fill there, which I just noticed right now. So the market is probably likely to come and fill that gap before maybe seeing some bullish momentum come back into play. Again, not too sure how high we'll take it, but this is where we could see a bounce from, so it makes complete sense. So yeah, nice position there. We'll see how that one goes, gets going. Momentum's looking good there, so hopefully that trade can continue in your direction. But yeah, looking good, taking out that consolidation. So hopefully momentum can really start to kick back into pound AUD, because it hasn't really dropped like I was expecting it to drop. But yeah, nice trade there, Alpha. 1.87515, 87515. That is pound NZD. 1.87. Oh, geez. Okay, so really long term target. 875. Okay, so that's basically down at these lows here. If I've read that correctly, yes, I have. Okay, so yeah, nice. I mean, that's why I'm expecting price to go long term as well. Long term as well, I'm expecting price to come back down to 1.88, this support. I'm actually expecting price to go further, so I'm expecting this to be the next lower high after this big drop here. So I'm expecting the bears to take control again and see some more downside. So I do agree with that, but yeah, hopefully your stop loss is above these highs here at least, to give yourself some room. because when you do have those longer term targets, you want to give yourself that protection, because for those long term targets, price can fluctuate at the lower time frames and still have some kind of speculative moves that doesn't make too much sense in line with your overall bias. So it's good to have stop loss in a good place where if your stop loss was taken, it's likely that price is actually going to reverse higher. So as long as your stop loss is above this high, with at least a little bit of room, you should be good. Not that the trade will work, it's just that if price was to hit your stop loss, it's likelihood that the market's going to reverse higher up anyway. So at that point, you want to change your bias. But yeah, nice. We'll see how that one gets going. Again, I'm looking for that lower high there, but the same bias, and in the next few weeks or so, depending on how long it takes, I do expect pound NZD to head down there, and it's the same with pound AUD as well. Next few weeks or so, or depending how long it takes, I'm expecting price to be trading at 1.72 as well for pound AUD. Pound AUD, pound NZD, very, very similar pairs. So they all make pretty much the same moves, maybe slightly different paces, and a different amount of pips, but in terms of their fluctuation, it is pretty similar. So yeah, I'm expecting price to come back to lows for both of those. Hey, welcome to the stream. Euro USD, USDs are of course nice little combo there. Combo there. It's always Euro USD and USDs are. Gold sell at 1840. Okay, we'll take a look at gold. Gold last time I checked was actually seeing some strong downside, which we were expecting from yesterday. Okay, so Euro USD, interesting stuff here. Price action wise, it is trading in a really nice area here, where we could see some downside. Again, these are the areas that I said will be looking good for buys, and obviously price has not hit those areas yet. So I'm looking to see if Euro USD can spill over a little bit and come into these areas first before we can see some upside. Yesterday I was talking about this area here being a nice place to sell the market from. Didn't quite pull back into that kind of, we came pretty close before the market did roll over. But I think that still stands there. If we can still hold on to this level there, that could be a great place to sell, and see if we can get to 1.06500, which is that price swing low. Because I've got pound AUD in my brain. Euro USD has kind of taken out this low here, and if it can form that lower high, then the shorts will be looking good, and a push back down into 1.06500 makes the most sense with the fact that we are still rejecting this daily support term resistance, getting that break and retest there for the first time. So yeah, Euro USD, I can see that one spilling over. I'll probably say wait for another push high first to confirm that lower high. Then if we can get that, 1.06500 is looking good for the next target for this one. Ahmed, welcome to the family. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for subscribing. But yeah, lower high there. I'm expecting more downside for Euro USD. Long term, I think we can see some more upside, but I do think some more downside is looking likely for either the rest of the day or the rest of the week for Euro USD probably. So yeah, that's what I'm favouring for Euro USD. USD ZAR, this one's still bearish on. I've been talking about price coming all the way back down to these lows here. So I'm still gonna be backing that bias, because that's what I'm seeing price go. We're forming some nice lower lows and lower highs. Again, you can see the market very, very prominent lower lows and lower highs. And I'm expecting another one to form now. We tried to go bullish there, formed a nice double top, and the market looks to be get ready to melt. So yeah, USD ZAR, the target I had over here hasn't been quite hit just yet. Came pretty close, but looks like that's where the market is on its way to now. So yeah, for this one, just basically looking for that next lower high, the pullbacks. We do have a really nice support level that the market just broke now. So maybe in the lower time frames, if you can get another retest of that, then the sell, or if we come back up again, then the sell. And next target for this one, a little bit difficult because we do have a lot of open space here on the left hand side. We do have key support here at 15, which probably could be the next real target for this one. On the 4H, there are some minor levels where we have some consolidation there and there we can look to target, but 15 is really where I do see the market going next. Obviously, we still do have to break through this level here, so a nice break and retest entry there could be something to look at as well. But yeah, usually are looking at 15 and then 14.5, or is that 14.6? More or less 14.5. 14.5 is what I'm looking for the market to go long term. So yeah, usually are more shorts. You're just basically looking for that next lower high. Do you have a trend line to work with? Yeah, partially, not really, but as long as we can stay consistent with those lower highs, we are likely to fall. If we suddenly rip to the upside, then we've broken through structure, and we might see some upside off the back of that. But in terms of probability, confluence, multi-time frame analysis, everything is pointing south for this one. So yeah, you're just looking for that next lower high, that next pullback to get involved. Break and retest of that would be nice, retest of that would be nice, or break and retest of the lows would be nice. Either which way, more shorts for this one. And 15 is where I see price going next, if we can break through that low down the left. So yeah, USDs are looking bearish, more downside for that one. Euro USD isn't confirmed yet, but if you can form that lower high, I would expect more downside as well for that one as well. So yeah, I hope that analysis made sense, was useful. But bearish on both of them actually. Gold selling at 1814, CHF JPY, of course we'll take a look at that one. We'll take a look at gold first, and then we'll head over to CHF JPY. So yeah, gold, some nice downside, held onto that level there, formed that lower high and dropped. Gold, because we're not breaking through that high up there, 1868, almost 1870. I do think gold is on its way back down to the lows there. Hey, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, Robin and Arlo. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. Good morning. Good morning. Any pairs you're looking at, feel free to stick it in the chat, and I'll take a look at it, see what's happening. But yeah, gold looking bearish. You got sell them at 1840. So is that support there on the left? Ish, sort of. So yeah, I'll watch out with that sell limit. Yes, we could come up, respect this support and drop. But I'd wait for the market to give you, a bit more confirmation and then get involved. So, watch what type of candlesticks we get in that area on the lower time frames, 4H hourly, and then we can get involved. So yeah, I'd watch out for the sell limit on that one, just taking it, because we definitely could rally a little bit higher first and then drop. But yeah, that is a good area to look out for, that support taken as resistance. We did break through, never got the retest. So it is, a nice area to look to sell from. And again, with that higher time frame bias, it does make a lot of sense that we can see some more downside for gold. Depending on your target, could be the lows down there. Nice support here as well to work with. And we've just about come into this area here already. So yeah, I do agree with that one. Break and retest, see some more downside. But again, I'm always more of a fan of, looking to wait to enter trades and seeing the signal first and then enter, rather than just placing a sell limit or any orders. But again, that's completely up to your strategy and how you trade the market. But yeah, I do agree with that one. CHF JPY, this one, we did see some more upside last time I checked. Yeah, we did see some more upside. So yeah, CHF JPY, I was looking for the market to pull back and continue higher. But these were my targets, 135, and the market is just kind of smashed into that right bang, or almost bang on actually, 135. But yeah, it's coming to that high up there. So I was looking for the market to pull back and retest this consolidation here and then head higher, but it just rallied to the upside there. So CHF JPY is still looking pretty bullish. It is at a nice area where we can look to sell the market. However, obviously I'll take these sells with a pinch of salt. Reason being, the market on the higher time frames is really what's dictating CHF JPY right now. You can see the higher time frames are consistently forming higher highs and higher lows, and the momentum is still very, very bullish here. And I'm expecting CHF JPY to go and take out these all-time highs here at 138.862 sooner or later. So always be careful when you are kind of trading against the higher time frames, especially when they're moving like this. You know, this train is really, really underway. So yes, the sales will be good in the lower time frames, but obviously you don't want to hold them for too long, and be mindful when you do see some buy opportunities, because those opportunities you can look to hold on a little bit longer and be a little bit more aggressive with them, because the higher time frames are in your favor. And we do have higher time frame targets up there, which I'm still expecting price to get to. But you can see this is where the market stalled a little bit last time. Strong bullish candle into this area, and then we dropped to the downside. Now the market's back up there for the first time since then. So expecting to see some type of retracement from here, and then expecting a continuation higher for CHF JPY. So on the lower time frames, hourly, 15 minute, you might grab a few pips to the downside, maybe into this area here where we had that pullback and a big rally through that level, never got the break and retest. So we might see some downside into this level here, and then maybe we might continue higher, or we could just actually blow straight through this level as well. That is definitely a possibility. But yeah, CHF JPY, nice area. Coming to that area, I'd wait for some more rejection in this level here, some lower highs to be printed first. Couldn't speak there for a second. To be printed, and then get involved rather than just look to place the trade there, because momentum on pretty much all time frames is bullish, so sales are always going to be a very, very aggressive option. So yeah, some sales look good for the short term, maybe intraday or maybe a couple of days at best, I would say. But the buys are still the bigger move in my opinion. I do expect these highs to be taken out and price to move further. So if that move to downside does happen, do be getting ready for those long opportunities when you do see them to buy price back up again, because that is where the money is going in from my analysis and my bias. But yeah, some short-term sales, wait for some more confirmation, some low highs, can take advantage of them, but the buys are still definitely in control of this market here. So do watch out for that. Gold sell limit at 1832. Got my spider line there. Spider line. What is spider line? Are you talking about like the entry line there? But never heard of spider line. But yeah, I'm bearish in gold. I just don't do limits. I prefer to enter on candle closures and candlesticks. I mean, that's the way I've always traded, so I guess I'm just biased towards that. But yeah, you got something at 1832, and price is not far from that. So 1831 right now. 1832, so that's coming to this area here. So okay, so you're playing with this bearish structure here then on the lower time frame. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. I mean, as long as we go and take out this structural high there, I would expect price to continue bearish and move to the downside there. I think you're playing with this area here, maybe. I'm not too sure. Not really familiar with your strategy, of course. But yeah, I'm still bearish on this one, so I do see the price moving downside. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's just a little bit corrective the way it's moving. The pullback's a little bit too steep for me, but yeah, I mean, where are your targets for that trade? I've got a few areas where you can aim for. It's 1824, that high. You've got some support down there, demand at 1813. So yeah, I would see price going to the downside, but yeah, a little bit congested in there for my liking, but hey, we'll see what happens. Sell buy some gold, but we'll wait patiently to test the zone 1843, 1846 rejection. On 1H candle will short this market. Okay, so yeah, that's a bit more my style. Waiting to see some rejection first, and some candlesticks before I do look to get involved. But yeah, I mean, gold completely tanked yesterday from that level. Again, this is the level that I was looking for price to short from. We tried to rally through, but we failed, formed that lower high, came back to retest, and then we dropped. But yeah, we got a nice break and retest level here, which is where, if I was looking to trade gold, because I'm not really focused on gold right now, but if I was, this would be the area I would be looking at to see if we can respect that and see some more downside off the back of that. We've got one high there, we've got that low, got that next lower high, maybe a low somewhere there, and looking at that third lower high before we do see a lot more downside for gold, because I'm favoring gold to come back down to these lows here, so I can see a lot more downside in play with respect to this high time frame level there, and I'm seeing a lot more downside off the back of that. So yeah, I mean, probably any good low high opportunity you can find should be decent on gold. Obviously nothing is 100%, but you do have some good high time frame analysis on this one, some good confluence. So I would expect gold to head south a little bit further, but obviously I'll wait for the pullback before getting involved. But I do agree, everyone with some short prices for gold. Morning Sharif, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream, hope you are doing good. Hey Alison, what about Euro JPY? Of course, we'll take a look, Euro JPY. So Euro JPY, wow, we've really rallied through that level. So you got to sell on this one. Very, very brave, Alison. Very, very brave. So yeah, Euro JPY, quite bullish on the higher time frames here. Obviously, daily just broken through that level just there. We could obviously snap back in that level, but from the high time frames, weekly, daily, everything is looking bullish. So that's why I said you're brave, Alison, because the market is pretty bullish in my opinion. We are coming to some areas up here where we might see some downside. Obviously we've taken out this level, so naturally you would expect to see some retracement. But yeah, how far are you looking to take the trades? What are your targets for the trade? Because after taking that high, I would probably expect to see maybe some type of higher low to form and then price head higher, because it does look like these highs here on the left are looking good to go at 140, unless we can snap back underneath this level here, then we might melt to the downside, but only if that happens. Other than that, Euro JPY looks very, very bullish. In my opinion, if we hold on to this level, I would expect to see some downside, but at this moment in time, it does look like we're breaking. I mean, this daily candle still does have 11 hours left before it closes. It could just give us a big wick to the upside and close bearish underneath, which would look really good for some sells tomorrow. But yeah, breaking above that, not really a fan of getting involved in some sells there. We might see some downside because it does look like the market's in need of some retracement. But if we do see that downside move, it's like to form another higher low again and see some upside. And 140 back at these highs is where I'm expecting price probably to head to, since we're taking out all the structure and still forming these higher lows. So again, that's just my analysis. I mean, like I said, where your targets for this trade. You're looking for the market to come back down here. You're just looking for a few pips to the downside, because that obviously makes the difference of the trade, of it being a winner or a loser potentially. But yeah, where's your targets for the trade for this one? But yeah, the only thing that can be question marks is the higher time frames, because obviously we're having a nice break and retest of this zone here. We rallied through pretty aggressively a few weeks ago, and now it looks like the market's getting a nice little retest of that level to push through to the upside. So I would be a little bit careful there. But as long as you've got a stop loss in placement, the worst that can happen is you lose a trade. Unemployment rate might just drop the dollar. Pretty sure the Fed are gonna manipulate it. Powell keeps saying the economy is strong, but we're already in recession. I mean, it could do. It definitely could do. I mean, I do expect the dollar to drop anyway. To be fair, actually not drop, but I do have some more downside targets for the dollar. So I don't know if it's going to drop there or steadily move there. but yeah, it definitely is at these areas where I would expect to see some dollar weakness if you look at where we're trading. And this is the oh, I completely forgot about my watermark. My bad. No one reminded me. So poor. But yeah, these highs here is where we could see some downside from, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do see dollar drop again and further. But this is the area which I was talking about since last week, that I was looking for market to come and test. But as you can see, we haven't quite tested yet. I mean, what do we have? Some dollar news coming out today? Let me just go check the news. Okay, so we do have some PMI. Okay, so we do have CAD and dollar. Yeah, okay, so we got CAD's PMI at 230, 245, we've got US dollar, and then we got Bank of Canada interest rate decision at 3 today. And then we got dollar as well at 3. Is that, yeah, that's at 3 as well. So yeah, then we do have some speeches later from euro, US dollar as well. Okay, I did not know that. Okay, so yeah, we do have some news today for CAD and dollar. So anyone trading that, do watch out. Do watch out. If this 1H candle closes below 1830, I'll go to 1808 in my opinion. But keep stop loss at 1832.5. Okay, so you're really liking the intraday movements there. Interesting. So you said if this 1 hour candle closes below 1832, 1832 is up there. Okay, which is about 1 minute and 34 seconds away, so likely it would do that. So I'm guessing your order will be at 1808. Or was it your target at 1808? 1808 is all the way down there. But keep stop loss at 1832.5. Okay, so you're looking for a really nice swing to the downside there. I bet the risk to reward on that opportunity is quite high there. But yeah, I'm expecting price to get to 1786 anyway, so I'm expecting price to go further. But again, that's me looking at the higher time frame. So yeah, I'd be a bit wary because obviously price hasn't really had much time to pull back. I would expect price to get there anyway. But we'll see, we'll see. I mean, I'm personally looking at that zone a little bit more rather than the price action in there. But hey, trade the way you want to trade. We are still respecting those lower lows and lower highs, and the hourly candle's about to close below 1832 right now. So we'll see. Good morning, Mohammed. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. I see a retest on what pair. No problem, Alpha. Happy to help. I will always share my setup and current trade if I do have. Love supporting your content and channel. Hey, much appreciated, Alpha. Much appreciated. Love to hear that. And yeah, I mean, I do enjoy to see what pairs are trading, what pairs are trading, what pairs people are trading, what pairs are trading. Yeah, I do like to see what pairs people are trading. Interested to find out, and also because I know a lot of people have different styles. Because again, I do trade in the high time frames, and not a lot of people on the stream do that. Some people do, yes, but I know a lot of you guys are intraday, so I am interested to see what you guys are doing on the lower time frames. And again, it's not about winning the trade or losing the trade, because I probably would expect some people probably wouldn't share the trade just in case if it loses, and they don't want to be seen as having that losing trade. But there's really no shame in that. At the end of the day, no one actually knows where the market will go. It's all by analysis. It's all by analysis of what's in front of you, and all learning as well. So I share my trades. I'll lose trades. I'll win trades. It's all about the process. But yeah, I do respect that, Alpha. Much appreciated, my man. Oil goes up. Yeah, oil is still looking very, very bullish. Last time I checked, I'm looking at oil coming back up to these highs up here, 128. Those highs, probably some new highs as well. The market's been consistently placing, apart from that one, consistently placing higher lows here. And as long as we maintain that, we are likely to push through to the upside. And targets here is looking pretty welcoming here, since we're having a nice little break as well. It's probably what you're talking about, break and retest of that high there. Oil is looking bullish, very, very bullish here indeed. And obviously the higher time frames all pretty much in sync to the upside. Weekly's been thrown, wicks galore to the downside there. Trying to push lower, but failing to do so. So yeah, oil for me, 128 is likely where we're heading towards. Really nice 4H close there as well. So yeah, 128, 130 probably. Did we get to 130 last time? No, we got to 129, very, very close to. Probably going to hit 130 this time if the structure maintains. Can you check out pound JPY? Of course, we'll take a look. Sorry I missed your analysis on CHF JPY and NZUSD. Would you mind sharing again? No problem. I haven't actually looked at NZUSD yet, but of course we'll get onto that. I'm looking for short on CHF and NZUSD. Okay, we'll get onto that in a second, but I'll take a look at pound JPY first. Yeah, pound JPY, pair that I was looking at yesterday, looking for some buys. Again, price didn't move without me. We were having that nice break and retest on that level, and it pushed up to the upside. But I was looking for a bit more development there. Again, it's just what I'm looking for. I'm not really trying to catch every move, but price did move to the upside there. So I have missed that opportunity, and it is coming back into the resistance here, which is the target for pound JPY. This is a nice resistance because it could present some nice sells. Pound JPY could see a pullback coming up, and obviously this zone here is where some sellers will be located. You can see the wicks that we left behind here, and then we did see quite a nice drop to the downside as well. So this area is definitely a nice place to sell. Obviously, do be careful because JPY pairs right now are quite bullish. JPY is quite weak, so even though we are trading at a nice location, momentum can break through that pretty easily if price wanted to. So that's why I'm always going to wait for development there and wait for the market to play some lower highs before I do get involved or anything. But yeah, the market is still definitely bullish. You can see the higher highs and higher lows the market is printing here. So if we can start to see some rejection here, we can definitely take some sells. Again, I wouldn't hold these sells for long as well, because in my opinion the buyers are still in control of this market, especially on the higher time frames. So it's likely we'll probably see some downside for pound JPY, but I'm not expecting it to go too far because the higher time frames normally do win the battle. So I'll be expecting it to eventually break through this resistance. So yeah, pound JPY, maybe for the next day or two we can see some downside from this zone here. There is no real signal yet that the shorts are coming in. Momentum is still to the upside, and we're not really seeing any rejection there. We are seeing some rejection, but need to see more than that, and some lower highs or at least equal highs being printed first. But yeah, pound JPY coming to a nice zone. Keep an eye out for that. Monitor price in that area, and yeah, we can see some nice shorts. As for targets, 161 at best, but you're better off just playing it with these kind of hourly swing lows here. Hourly swing lows to look out for, just because the market could respect them and turn against you, obviously with the higher time frames still being bullish. But at best you might see price come back down and hit 161 again. But yeah, pound JPY for me, I'm bullish on the pair on the market because of what the higher time frames are doing, but I do expect to see a pullback, and this is the zone where I would expect it to happen. So there could be some nice intraday sells to take advantage of, but yeah, not really any confirmations yet to get involved. So yeah, just keep an eye out in that area would be my advice. So yeah, we'll take a look at CHF, JPY, and the USD. I used to trade Forex way back. I trade options now. I haven't traded FX in a long time. Okay. I mean, I've never traded options before. I'm FX through and through. So yeah, I've never traded options. How come you switched from Forex to options? Isn't option trading even higher risk? I'm gonna have to ask him. USD CAD, yeah, we'll get onto that as well. I tend to stay away from the other pairs and stick to USD only because I understand USD can look more. I have no idea what's going on in Japan. Fair enough. So yeah, CHF JPY, this one again, still bullish on this one. Pretty much all JPY pairs I'm bullish on. I'm expecting these highs up here to be taken out eventually, but again, we are trading in a nice area where we could see some sellers step back into the market and see some downside from here. So again, some intraday shorts could be coming up for CHF JPY, but I wouldn't hang on to these shorts for too long because I do think the buyers will take this one back up into that resistance up there as well. So for me, CHF JPY could see some downside. I'm looking in the lower time frames again, nothing much there telling us that we're about to roll over. We could still see some more upside off the back of that. So if you can start to see some lower highs being printed, then you can take some shorts there. And again, wouldn't look to hold those shorts for too long. And I said this could be a nice level to look at. Maybe back to 132.600 here into that kind of consolidation. This is where I expected the market to have a retest of, but we didn't quite see that happen. So maybe there, but like I said, once that pullback has happened, I'm expecting the market to head north back to 136 again, and actually highs up here at 130.39 actually. So CHF JPY, I do see price going a lot higher, but similar to what I've said with pretty much every JPY pair I've looked at so far, could see some intraday shorts come into play. But yeah, I think the biggest swing where the money is still to the upside. So it depends how you want to play it. If you want to look for the intraday trade, cool. Wait for those confirmations, get involved. But then be mindful. And if you do get some buy opportunities after a pullback, it could be catching some really nice trades depending if you want to, depending how far you want to hold it, of course. But yeah, I do see some more upside for CHF JPY after some retracement. As the USD, we'll take a look at. Morning, Murray. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. So yeah, as the USD, we'll take a look at this this market. Okay, so the orange. Oh wow, that monthly candle's really closed pretty nicely on that support level there. We might see a bullish month potentially. So yeah, as the USD, we'll take a look at this one. So yeah, we're coming to a nice area here. Again, support, resistance. Really, really nice area. And we're just going to see if the market can hold into this essentially. Because again, price swing low, the market, really nice pullback. We dumped through, had a nice retest there, dumped again. And now we're back at this level again. So the market can even do one or two things. Respect this level, roll over, or break above and continue higher. We just gotta wait to see, which way the market wants to go. As of right now, very, very congested. I mean, the dollar pair seems to be moving in the same kind of way. Really, it's kind of like corrective, bullish momentum. Very, very corrective. But at the time right now, we are still holding on to this level. We do have this resistance here where the market formed it's technically a low high, so we did see the wick take out that low. But yeah, if we can hold on to this, some shorts will be looking good, looking for the double top, and then you can look to see if you can roll over again. So that is what I'll be looking for hence the USD. Another test of that, if we can confirm that as resistance, then we are likely to see more downside off the back of that. Again, depending where you want to put your stop loss, you could obviously have it up the highs, but obviously you'd be sacrificing some R's there, some percentage, but again, it's completely up to you. But yeah, I do agree with that. As the USD, I do have a bearish bias as long as we trade below this level, break above that, I'll probably change my bias to bullish, but I'll see how we break above. I wouldn't just change it straight away. But yeah, if you confirm that double top, that would be a nice place to sell from and see some downside, because if that resistance hold, it shows us that the sellers, are staying firm and holding firm, and the buyers are weakening. So we are likely to see some downside off the back of that. And targets, I'll just focus on these 4H swing lows here. There's one there to look at, got another one here to look at, and then yeah, so on and so forth until the lows there, which is at 0.62200. So yeah, that's how I play it as the USD. I wouldn't look for the full swing in one go, but again, lower time frames you can get a decent risk reward anyway. So yeah, 0.64254 is where I'd favor price to go, but we have to respect this high here. If we break through and start using that as support, then we're likely to push through to the upside, and it could get a little bit sticky up there. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at for as the USD. Hey Jacob, thank you brother, thank you. I'll keep up the good work, mate. I'll keep up the good work as long as there's still breath in my lungs. Now options are way better, trust me, but you gotta learn the technicals first. Options you can scalp fast and make a lot of money quick and dip out. It's like trout fishing. Okay, I mean, I've never traded options before, so I have no idea. But yeah, have fun with that. And the USD has an inverse head and shoulder. Okay, you're looking at this there, the left shoulder there, head, and the right shoulder. Yeah, potentially could do. I mean, I would wait for that right shoulder to confirm, or the break of the neckline. But yeah, that definitely could play out there, because if that right shoulder does form, we could push higher. But yeah, I'll be looking at this first here, because we are still respecting that structure. And if you do form, something there, obviously you can change your bias. But definitely a break of that resistance, we could see a lot more upside above that, and that's where the longs will start to look really, really nice. Okay, to learn how to trade stocks and apply what you learned to Forex and stock and trading. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, technical analysis is still technical analysis, really. I mean, obviously some markets will move different to some other markets, Forex, indices, commodities, stocks, crypto even. They all have their kind of qualities, each of them. Even if you dive deeper into different stocks, different Forex pairs and different indices, they'll all have their own knacks about them. So yeah, technical analysis is kind of like the broad term of everything, of every kind of financial market. And once you understand that broad term, you can use that in different markets, but obviously you have to tailor it to the market you're trading, and that comes from experience of trading that financial market. So again, if you're trading a lot of Forex pairs, you have that kind of experience, and you would have tailored your technical analytical knowledge to FX pairs. So if you're going to switch over to stocks, it's still the same thing, but obviously you'll be trading slightly differently, and times might be slightly differently with stocks as well, and the way you trade them as well might be slightly different, but it's still the kind of the same tools you're still using, but maybe in a slightly different way. So once you've got the skills, you can always maneuver it to different places. Obviously, experience is probably the biggest teacher with everything, so it'll take time to adapt, but yeah, the skills are still the same. I mean, that's why I normally focus on FX pairs rather than look at commodities, crypto and indices. I do look at them, but 95% most of my trades come from FX. I will sometimes trade Bitcoin, I'll sometimes trade gold, I'll sometimes trade US30, but FX is my bread and butter. So I don't want to deviate too much from that. But obviously sometimes it's nice to trade other markets as well, just to give you that diversity. Yeah, I mean that's good as well. Robin. I mean sometimes when you only focus on one pair, again it gives you that kind of extra focused knowledge of that one pair, that you would only get by only trading one pair, because then you kind of become in sync with the way it moves from trading session to trading session, and then you can actually start to understand the timings of when that pair moves. So there is definitely some benefits of trading one pair. You can kind of master that and tailor your technical knowledge to that pair as well. So yeah, I mean there's definitely no harm with trading one pair, and there's abundance everywhere. So there's no real not at a disadvantage or anything trading one pair. So yeah. But yeah, I'm currently trading pound CHF and a little bit sideways for this one, but I'm expecting to see if we can roll over and finally break out this kind of consolidation here. But yeah, it's definitely not moving too well. Entered this one last week Monday, and yeah, since then saw some nice downside, but it hasn't really done anything off the back of that. It's kind of just moved sideways, and I'm taking some profit off the tables. Hit both. Well, I had 3 targets for the trade. One was this level through here. Second one was 1.2, and the third one was 1.19. So I've taken off profit at my partial TP targets, and I've got my stop loss obviously at break even. So there's no risk involved, but the market is just definitely just moving so corrective. So I'm in one mind, I'm saying just like exit the trade, but I know I just need to see this one out, because could just break to the downside and go and hit my target, and then I'll be a happy bunny. But hey, beggars can't be choosers in the market. You gotta let the market do its thing. But still in pound CHF, still nursing that one. We'll see how that one gets going. Some other pairs I'm looking at, I'm keeping one eye on NZD CHF to see what this one does, but it's very, very choppy right now, and the more it continues to move like this, the more I'm less likely to get back involved with NZD CHF. But recently it's been a really, really nice pair for me. Had a nice trade from up there. This trade didn't work out too well. Had a nice trade from there. Had a nice trade here. Had a break even over here. And yeah, that was the last time I traded it. So it's been pretty well, but with the way it's moving, especially this level I'm focused on, it's kind of just a bit up and down. So I'm going to be a little bit patient with that one. Pound yen did miss the buys there, but maybe I can catch some sells back down again, and I'll see how price reacts with that level. Pound AUD, I'm looking for some retracement for that one, and then price to head further south. Oh, not mean to do that. Further south, looking for the break and retest of that area, and then some shorts. So I'm personally waiting for some pullback. Pound NZD, I'm looking at this one heading south, back down into these lows here, 1.91, and further actually. I'm just waiting for that next lower high, and I can see price melting. And Euro Pound as well, I'm looking at price heading higher for this one. Again, respecting support, looking for that next higher low, and price coming to these highs up here, these highs up here, and so on and so forth. Mine looking at CHF JPY. Okay, I'll take a look at CHF JPY for you. Zan, please. Okay, I assume you mean gold there, because C is right next to X on the keyboard. So yeah, please gold. Please, I'm a huge loss. Yeah, what do you? What do you? Are you buying, selling? What do you want me to do with gold? So yeah, CHF JPY. CHF JPY has been quite popular for some reason. Interesting. CHF JPY, we're trading at this level here, so we're seeing if we can hold on to this to see some downside. Like I've said, CHF definitely a very, very bullish pair on the higher time frames as well, and I do think we can see some more downside, some more upside, for this one, back to these highs at 136 and 138 as well, 139-ish. So I do think price can move higher, but we are coming to some nicer areas where we might see some downside and see price maybe retrace, pull back a little bit, and then push higher. So do be aware of this level, but I wouldn't hold for those shorts for too long, because I know a lot of people are seeing this big move to the upside. They're getting ready for some shorts, and yeah, I do agree we could see some nice downside, but don't hold on for too long, because the higher time frames normally end up winning the battle, and the higher time frames are pointing to the upside. So I would be careful with these shorts here. But all in all, nice zone 135. If we can form some lower highs, I would expect to see the market pull back to the downside again. But yeah, it's just not moving too well here, so I'd wait for CHF to clear up a little bit, form some lower highs, then we can get involved with those shorts. And 132.500, 133.500 will be the targets, and then from one of these areas I do think we can push back to highs again. So yeah, some short-term sells, but the buys is still winning the battle for me. So I do think markets can still I still think this market can still push higher. Gold, I have bought at 1846 yesterday. Okay, so 1846 yesterday. Okay, so that's up here. So yeah, well, I'm assuming you don't have a stop loss. I was going to ask where's your stop loss, but I'm assuming you don't, because you just said you're in big loss. So yeah, I'm actually bearish on gold. I'm looking for gold to head lower. There's a question of gold could potentially pull back and retest this level, so you could probably close it at less of a loss. But I definitely wouldn't have the hope in that trade for it to turn it into break even or positive. Not because it can't do that, just because if you have that hope, you're going to try and hold on to that hope for as long as possible, and it could get very, very bad at that. If the market keeps heading south, keeps heading down. So yeah, if I was you, I'll probably just close the position, take the loss, and move on from it, because the stress you're probably experiencing right now is probably not worth it. I didn't put a stop loss on it. I mean, you're not an idiot, you just made a mistake. I mean, mistakes doesn't make you an idiot. You all make mistakes in different ways. But yeah, I'll probably just close the trade, because a few people have been in a big loss and have asked me what to do, and I always just tell them to close the trade. Sometimes it will pull back and maybe to break even, sometimes it gets worse, but the best thing you can do is close the trade, because obviously you don't want it to get worse, and to recover when it does get worse is obviously much harder than if you do close it now. So yeah, I have a bearish bias for this one. I'm looking for gold to head back down to these lows here. Personally, it would be nice to see a break and retest of this level, which is why you might see a pullback and head lower. But I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know exactly what the market will do. I'm only reacting to what the market is doing and placing trades and analyzing based off that. So yeah, my advice always would be to close the trade and just move on from that. Don't look at the charts for the rest of the day. Come back tomorrow refreshed, and put the mistake behind you. But yeah, there's not much for me to say on that. Market's been really choppy today. I mean, the markets are kind of. Yeah, I mean, I actually have to agree, to be fair, hasn't really done too much. I mean, the pairs that I'm looking at haven't really, done too much, really. So, yeah, I do agree, it has been. I mean, the market's been a little bit choppy, especially the USD pairs. They've been steadily moving up, but they have been very, very corrective. USD CAD's seen some nice downside, though. Hey, very good morning to you as well, Trading Indian. Welcome to the stream. New month and a lot of fundamentals. Yeah, we do have some news coming out later today for CAD and for dollar. Do you have Bank of Canada interest rate decision? I believe at 3. Obviously, we do have NFP as well on this Friday as well. So yeah, there's fundamentals, but hey, there's always fundamentals. Some months more than others, yes, but there's always fundamentals and fundamentals. News releases, economic decisions. They're all part of trading. So yeah, I've become a little bit more numb to it because obviously for my trading, I'm pretty much 100% technical. So from a fundamental standpoint, I'm not really looking too much to see what happens. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm not entering on news and when my stop loss could be exposed and get hit. That's pretty much what my outlook on news is. So yeah, I'm not really too fussed about the big news announcements anymore. They do move the market, of course they do. But see if I'm in a trade that moves in my direction or moves against me, and that's pretty much how I look at it now. I used to be quite excited when the news was coming out because it's gonna be a big move. Can you catch the move, stuff like that. But nowadays, it's just another interest rate decision, just another NFP. GPAUD retracing hard. Damn, that 1H candle thick. That's quite funny, it made me laugh. Never heard someone go that 1H candle thick. Okay, yeah, it is pulling back. It is pulling back, but hey, you can see the way the market is moving. I mean, it's very, very corrective. So likelihood, it's either that we're going to see some strong momentum and we're going to break out this this kind of corrective pattern and just fall, or each time that we do see some new lows, past a recent low. So each time we do see a low past this point, we always do see a pullback to the upside. You can see how the market's moving. It's not moving freely. It's still kind of corrected like it was in here. So the likelihood that after we do take a low, we are likely to see a pullback back to the upside, just because of the nature of how the market is moving. So yeah, we are seeing some upside at the back of that. But the key thing to always look out for is the low lows and lower highs. The lower highs are still in place here. So we could still pull back, up to here even, and still see some more downside off the back of that. And the structure is still in place. I'm still forming low lows and low highs. So retracement is always going to be a part of the market, especially with how we're moving right now. But again, it's important to know what you're trying to do in the market. You're looking for the market to head south. Okay, if that's the key, then it's the lower highs that is important, not really the lower lows, because lower lows will always be printed, they'll be taken out, pull back, all of that stuff. But as long as the lower highs are still intact, then yeah, we can still head south. If we start breaking through these, then it gets a little bit tricky there, and we could obviously reverse potentially. But yeah, the key thing you need to be looking out for is the lower highs. But yeah, we are pulling back, and we've still got 30 minutes before this candle close. It could still push up, it could pull back and leave a wick and actually close bearish as well. So it's really important not to get your emotions too tied with each candle movement. I prefer to look at the charts when the candle's about to close, so I don't really get too involved when the market is moving, because that's when I get my most emotional, when I'm watching the market move up and down, up and down. But when I'm coming onto the market just before candle close, just like 10 minutes before, I can actually get some good analysis in, logically, not based on emotions, and then act off that if I get a signal or not. But yeah, it's pulling back, but I mean, with the nature of the market, the likelihood it was always going to pull back. But I still do have a bearish bias either which way for gold. I do have a bearish bias for gold, but for pound AUD, I still do have a bearish bias for this one. I'm looking at the market heading a lot lower, target here, and I do have targets down here as well. So either we drop there or we have a deeper pullback and then drop again. But either which way, I do expect gold to fall. I don't know why I keep saying gold, pound AUD. No problem, Zan, happy to help. Speaking in half an hour. Who is that? 7:30 right now. Oh, okay, for the ECB, 28 minutes. It says medium impact on my FX books, so they're not expecting anything too major, but I have seen sometimes some medium impacts actually be quite high with my FX book sometimes. But yeah, he is speaking at 12. So yeah, I mean, any euro pairs, if you're trading any euro pairs, do watch out for that. But yeah, I'm currently trading pounds, so shouldn't see too much going on for that one. But yeah, it is moving very, very sloppy right now. Great insight, bro. Thanks for sharing your experience. No problem, no problem. Happy to help, man. Happy to help. Again, just learning off each other here, and that's what the stream's all about. Just sharing experience again, sharing trades, sharing knowledge together, and then grow as a community. But yeah, there's not too much going on. I was very, very active in the markets last week, not so much this week. Last week placed 4 trades, I believe. This week, just got pound CHF running. And that one isn't doing too much. A little bit choppy there, but got to see it through. Because if it does break to the downside, you would kick yourself if you closed it too early. And since I've already banked partial, there's no risk on the table either. So yeah, we'll just maintain that trade and see what happens. If it breaks to the upside and it goes break even, it goes break even. If it breaks to the downside, then whoop-de-doo. We'll see what happens off the back of that. But the main pairs I'm still looking at is pound NZD, euro pound, pound JPY, and NZD CHF. Seeing what these pairs can do. Yeah, any other pairs I'm not really focused. Euro NZD as well. I'm looking at Euro NZD. I'm waiting for sales for this one, either at this area up there, or maybe you can get a break and retest all the lows. But it's been moving very, very corrective. Not a fan of that. But I'm looking at some downside for this one. Euro AUD seeing some nice downside. So yeah, that means euro must be a little bit stronger than pound right now. Yes, it is. No, weaker than pound. Yeah, no, I got my confused there. Hey Trends, what are you saying, man? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. I can look at US 30, of course. US 30. Okay, so I was looking at US 30 yesterday. Wasn't the clearest market in the world, if I was going to be honest. Not the clearest market in the world. Still a little bit undecided myself on the pair. Some other indices looking a little bit better, but in terms of technicals here, we still do have our all-important levels up here, where the market at 34, where the market tested 3 times before we actually melted to the downside. So know for a fact a lot of sellers are located up there, and we could still be headed up there. To attract some more, to see some downside come back in again. But we've taken out this high here on the left, and the market is still looking fairly strong off the back of that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some more upside from that. We'll come back to retest level. Yes, oh, that's not what I wanted. We'll come back to retest the level there. But the market, if we're going to hourly, is still, yeah, it's difficult to work out this one. Because we kind of made equal highs and equal lows there, and overall this is kind of just moving sideways. So I'll wait for some more information simply for US 30. And there's sometimes when you do analyze a pair and you just need a little bit more information, some more candles, some more structure, just to make a more informed decision. And this is definitely a pair that I'll wait for that. So up here is definitely where I do have my interest for US 30. Some nice sales could come off the back of that. We're having a break and retest of that level there, but momentum hasn't come back in. So for me, I'm still undecided. We could come back and retest this level before seeing upside, or we might rally and see that move there. I'm still undecided right now. I need to see a little bit more from US30 before I make that decision. We are making these lower highs here. Maybe if we're going 15 minute and dig a little bit deeper, we are still making these lower highs here. So, off the back of that, I would favor some downside, but we do have some key support that I wouldn't try and sell the market past. So we're looking at probably moving to here and maybe even into here. And yeah, we might see some upside off the back of that, but yeah, a little bit more downside for US30, but again, this is a 15-minute time frame. As for the longer move, I'm still a bit undecided. I want to see a bit more information first, but more intraday, I do see the market heading south back to these areas support 33, 32, 900. Then we might see some upside off the back of that. But yeah, I need a bit more information from the higher time frames for my swing bias. Then you might get a chance to get out of gold. Yeah, you could do, if it does pull back, but it's always dangerous. It's always dangerous because it might not pull back that far. Yeah, hopefully it does pull back for your sake, because I don't want to see people lose big sums of money. That's not what trading is about. So I do hope it does pull back, but it's up to the market really. Pound NZD, okay, yeah, so pound NZD, I do have a bearish bias on this one. See pound NZD interesting, yeah, no problem. Yeah, patience is always key. So yeah, pound NZD, I'm expecting some more downside for this one because I'm looking at the higher time frames. You know me, I like my higher time frame analysis, and I'm looking at this being the next lower high here from that big drop, because we absolutely melted. And I think the market's just forming the next lower high, getting ready to see some more downside. And this is a bit like a fake out above this high here. So big rally up, big rally back down, looking at the next lower high. And I'm looking at the market moving south back down to these areas. So I do have a bearish bias for pound NZD. And you can see on the 4H time frame, we are consistently still making these lower highs here. So we've got the high up there, lower high, drop, lower high, and we've kind of got this zone that the market's retesting, and obviously this trend line here. So if we can stay below that, I would expect pound NZD to drop. Again, it's not the cleanest moving pair in the world, but I would expect pound NZD to drop off the back of that, and 1.91 would be my target for the trade. Again, I'm looking for that next lower high to form, because we have still made some highs up here, but if we can form a lower high somewhere, I would expect pound NZD to drop. And if we can take up this support here as well, because that is still rejecting price a little bit there, so we still need to break through that 1.92600 support. But if we can, then 1.91, 1.88 are my targets for this one. And same with pound AUD, I expect that one to head lower as well. But yeah, pound NZD looking interesting. I do think a nice opportunity could be developing, as long as we don't rally through this, because then we might start to come back to these highs, and then I'll probably leave pound NZD alone off the back of that. But yeah, from what I'm seeing, it looks good for some shorts. Yeah, patience is definitely key. Patience is definitely key. I think Mary was the person who said on the stream, she put, because obviously with patience, the first two letters PA, and then she added a Y, and then put shunts. So patience pays you, and then impatience don't get paid, which I thought was quite cool. But yeah, patience 100%, big part of trading. Big part of trading, because with patience, you're always waiting for the unknown, which is difficult because people want to know and be in control. Because when you're being patient in trading, you're waiting for something to happen that meets your criteria, that allows you to take a trade, but you don't know if that's going to happen. The market might just drop without giving you the criteria. The market might just fly without giving you the criteria to get into the trade. And your patience is basically you having belief in your system that when it does come, you're going to be there to take the trade. And if it isn't there, you're okay to miss out on a move or miss out on the market falling. That's what patience is. It's waiting on the unknown, because you don't know what's going to happen. The market might just drop and you might not get the opportunity, but you're okay with missing that move because your criteria isn't quite set there. And that's what the patience is. The waiting is not necessarily the hard part, because waiting is easy. It's to know what you're waiting for is the hard part, and to know when, okay, now's the time to execute and now's the time to wait is the hard part as well. Because all the waiting is doing nothing. You're not doing anything. It's not a difficult thing to do, but to do nothing and know that you might miss a move, that's the difficult part. Hey, thank you, Manish, for joining the stream. Thank you. Hey, Joe, what you saying? Is it recommended to take gold sales if it breaks the low but before the news later? Well, it depends how long you want to hold that trade for, because I'm not a big advocate of trading definitely on the lower time frames just before news. Maybe higher time frames you might be able to get away with it, but on the lower time frames I'm not a big supporter of that, because the fluctuations you can see definitely do stop out a lot of traders before you've seen that head in your favor. Because gold is looking quite bearish. A lot of people will be having that bearish bias as well, and a lot of people are looking for that excuse to get involved. And with the news coming out later, people want to take advantage of the extra momentum that the news will provide, so they want to get in just before the news to take advantage of that. But it's always a bit tricky there, and it's difficult to find consistency within that. So if you are trading on the lower time frames, I would always say wait for after the news, wait for things to settle, then get involved. Yes, you might have missed on a move, but there's always going to be the retracement. And what I've noticed as well is that with some of the bigger moves in the market that come from news, about 60 to 70% of the time, the market will kind of consolidate a little bit, the news will come in, spike, the market will drop, then eventually you do actually see the market come back to where the news came from, and then it will actually continue. It doesn't do this all the time, but more times than not, it will come back to where the news happened and then drop again. So the opportunity will come around, but again, you just have to wait for it. And when you're entering off that, it's just a bit more relaxed. There's no stress of the news coming up, and you're doing it in your own time as well. But the news all gets a little bit just a little bit stressful. So yeah, you can take the low. Not really a trade that I look at. I don't really take breaks of levels and lows and highs. So I don't really have too much experience on the success of those type of trades. Obviously I know traders that do that, but it's just not really what I do. So I'd obviously wait for a market to pull back before I get involved. And like I've said before, this is the zone where I'll look to play shorts for gold. So 1840, a break and retest of that would be great. And yeah, shorts from that would look nice. And then multiple levels where you can look to see gold go to. 1786 does look good. But again, we've got support here we can look at as well at 1808, just next to 1800, which is a big psychological level for gold. So yeah, I'm short bias on gold. I'm not short on gold, but I'm short bias on gold. But yeah, if you're going to do that, I'd wait for after the news. But again, it depends how long you hold the trade for, because if you're going to get in very, very quickly within a few minutes or an hour, then you can get away with it. But if your target hasn't hit yet and you're still in the trade, the news is coming out, I'd rather enter after. But again, that's just my take on it. Hey Kumar, welcome to the stream. US30 showing sell trend in weekly chart and uptrend in day chart. In day chart, it's break previous high. Now it's in sell or buy trend. What is the confidence I need to check? Please teach me, Ro. No problem. So yeah, it's all about multi-time frame analysis and confluence together. So if you have one time frame showing bullish bias or bullish trend and another time frame showing bearish bias or bearish trend, In that case scenario, I wouldn't trade it because there's no confluence. If one is bullish, one is bearish, it doesn't add up. One could be right, one's gonna be right, one's gonna be wrong. You're gonna take the sell trade because of the weekly trend, and say that fails, you can be like, oh, I should have followed that daily trend. Then say you take the buy trade because the daily bullish trend, and then say it fails, you can be like, oh, I should have followed the weekly. So it's that kind of unknown of which one's going to work. Generically speaking, the higher time frame normally wins. So if the weekly is trending bearish, you would expect the daily to eventually follow the weekly and come in sync with that. So normally speaking, the higher time frame will always win. But yeah, when I'm looking to take a trade, if the time frames I'm looking at are not in sync, then I'll wait for it to get in sync. You do have to practice the habit of kind of waiting for more information, because in this instance, say the weekly and the daily were in sync, in sync, then it would be very, very clear to take the sell trade. Would it not? It would be clear to take the sell trade. You've got the weekly bearish trend, bearish structure, daily bearish trend, bearish structure. It makes sense to take the sell. But because you've got a daily bullish structure and a weekly bearish structure, it doesn't make sense. So you don't take the trade. Wait for more information, wait for the market to become in sync, and then you can take your trades there. So in this case, I'll just wait, fold my hands, wait for the market to become in sync together. If you're looking for the trade, then you're going to have to go to the lower time frames to find where time frames line up. But yeah, you're just going to have to wait. This is the time where the patient comes in, and you wait for your opportunities, and you don't force things, because this is the time where the indecision comes in, and that's when you lose money. It's the trades that you take that are very, very clear and look good, that normally in the long run are the ones that are going to make you money. Or pips, I should say, not really focus on the money, but on pips, it'll make you pips. So yeah, I do agree with you. Weekly definitely bearish here. Weekly definitely bearish. I was looking for the weekly to come back and retest this high here as well, which it still could do. Daily, we are seeing that take out that high. This is a really nice level on the daily, which I said if we come back into, you could definitely see some bearish trend come back in, and the sells will make a lot more sense to the downside, because then the daily and the weekly will come back in sync to each other. So the answer to your question is wait, really. Wait for them to come in sync, wait for the confluence to match up, then take the trade. There's no crystal ball that will always tell you where price is going to go. That doesn't exist. You're just going to have to wait for the price action to line up. Because I would imagine you know what to do when the weekly and daily are in sync, and if you know what to do, then it's pretty clear what you need to do. Just wait for that to happen, and then take your trades. And especially when you're trading using the daily and the weekly charts, you're not going to take as much trades as the day trader who's using the hourly and the 4H, or the scalper who's using the 15 and the 5. So you're going to take less trades, but obviously you're going to bank more pips, with those trades. So it's all about that balance. But yeah, if I have answered your question, or if I haven't answered your question and you're still a little bit confused, let me know. But hopefully that answer helped. No problem, Joe. Happy to help. No problem, my guy. We've still got 10 minutes left of the stream, so if anyone's looking at any pairs, or wants me to analyze any charts, let me know, and I'll take a look at it for you. And if you are looking at the weekly time frame, great, thank you, bro. Please add US30 in your weekly forecast. Yeah, I'm not going to add any more pairs in my weekly forecast. I'm ranging 13, which is quite a lot. So I'm not going to add any more pairs to that. I'll always look, analyze US30 on my streams and stuff, but I'm not going to add any more pairs to that, because even when I do my own trading, I only have 5 pairs going into the week on my watch list. 13 pairs there just to give you guys a good like breakdown of the different kind of spectrum of the different trades. But yeah, I'm not going to add any more pairs to the video. But if I do get good setups on that, I'll also post that on Telegram as well for you. Pouncy Jeff is just moving absolutely horrible. But yeah, in this kind of scenario, I just tend to try and forget about the trade, because if you're going to watch every tick, that's when it gets a little bit too that's when you start to get very emotional. Hey Ali, welcome to the stream. Just got the stream, no problem, man. Still got about 10 minutes left. UT 100, of course. I don't think I've ever actually looked. I don't think I've ever actually looked at this. Yeah, I mean, the only indices I've actually looked at is GR30, US 30, and NAS US 100. So yeah, it's a debut for me. Let's see what we can do on this. Okay, wow. Okay, so we are coming to this area here where definitely some sells could be lurking. Definitely some sells could be lurking. Wow, very corrective the way we kind of rolled over here. If I just kind of tidy up a little bit. So yeah, I would have the sell bias from where we're trading right now. I do think we can drop to the downside here. I'm liking the way the daily is moving. But I wouldn't suspect us to head south for too long. So yeah, I would look for some sells from here, and targets for this one, I'll be looking at these higher lows here on the hourly, just because I think the daily can still head a little bit higher. So we're likely to see some correction because of how we're moving, but I do think we'll eventually break through this zone here. So yeah, if you can find some low high, respect this high again, cook out some nice shorts off the back of that, target 1, target 2. But yeah, I wouldn't probably push the trade further than that, maybe this level there at best. But yeah, we're definitely at a really nice sell zone here. You can see where we wicked into in the past, a big drop to the downside, nice wicks there, big drop to the downside. Now we're coming back into the same area again. This is where the sellers are lurking, taking out that high. So I would expect to see some downside off the back of that. Okay, we'll get to gold logo, no worries. So yeah, sells look the best for this one. As long as we stay below the 76 level, break above, then we're most likely coming back to these highs at that wick there at 76, 77. So if that's the case, break and retest is your best bet into those highs up there. But yeah, sells is what I'm favoring. Sell will be the bias coming to the zone. Like I said, I would expect price to drop and then maybe push higher off the back of that. So wouldn't hold those sells for too long, but I am looking at a drop there for this market. So yeah, I hope that made sense, and maybe that's in line with your bias, maybe, or what is your bias? But yeah, gold. So gold, I've got a bearish bias with this one. Again, long-term targets back down at those lows. I've been talking about breaking retest of that level. That would be nice. Come back, retest that, and then we could sell from 1840. 1840 to 1843, this kind of zone. So I do have a sell bias for gold. Looking for the market to roll over again. It's not moving the best right now, very choppy, but if we can have that pullback, next lower high, we've got 1, 2, could be looking at third, maybe somewhere there, and a push back into those lows at 1808 and then 1786 could be a nice target. But I do think we could see some more downside for gold. But yeah, I do recommend waiting for that pullback first. And again, if you do break above that, then we've got another level up there to look at for some sells. And basically we've got that higher time frame rejection there, which is giving us a good confluence of why we could head a lot lower. I said in my week analysis that if we break above this, we might see a reversal, but obviously we have not broken above. So yeah, still bearish on that one. Hope that made sense for gold. Hey Ross, welcome to the stream, bro. I'm doing good. So I was at work and just arrived at home. No problem, man, no problem. If you don't mind, please quickly look at review the positions you are already in on the upcoming setups. Yeah, sure thing, we'll take a look. Thank you, much appreciated, my guy. Definitely makes sense. Good. Lovely to hear. So can we buy gold because resistance becomes support? Yeah, I'm not talking about which resistance becoming support you're talking about. Give me a price that you're looking at. Like I said, I'm bearish on gold, so I wouldn't advocate buying gold because that goes against my bias. Obviously, it's not that it will work, but if I do have a bearish bias on something, I'm not going to say buy it. But certainly, if you are looking to buy it and there's a reason why you're doing that, then fair enough. But I'm looking for gold to go lower, and these are the levels that I'm interested in for gold moving lower. 1840, 1843, and then 1853 up there would be what I'm looking at for gold, and then targets, 1 and 2 there, 1808, 1786. So yeah, what price are you looking at, what level you're looking at? If we get above this level, you might catch a nice little intraday move into there maybe on the break and retest. So if that's the buy you're looking for, then that makes a lot of sense. But there's no real level here that the break and retest is looking, anything spectacular. So yeah, if you are looking for buys, I'll wait for price to get back above that zone. That'll make a lot more sense. But I'll try and refrain from buying gold right now. We might see a pullback, yes, but I do think the sells are still the big move. RBS on gold, what you say? What's RBS? RBS, yeah, I don't know what that is. RBS. What is RBS? And then I'll try and answer your question. So I'm still trading pound CHF from last week, Ross. I'm still trading for pound CHF. Not an active week for me at all this week. Still nursing this trade. It's going sideways, as you can see. Again, I'm just going to wait for this trade to play out, because I still do have bias down here, but the momentum that I was looking at for pound CHF is basically obliterated from the market right now. So I'm just going to see how the trade plays out. To be honest, I've already secured some partial profits. My stop losses break even, so there's no really risk on the table anymore. But the market is just kind of looking for some type of catalyst to get going, and I don't know if that's going to be news or whatever. But I'm still looking at 1.19 there. It needs to break to the downside out of this consolidation, and right now it's kind of dying right now. But that's what the trade I'm in. There's a few pairs I'm looking at. Pound NZD, I'm looking at price coming back down into 1.91 here. So I'm looking at the market heading south. From a higher time frame point of view, everything is looking bearish for me. We've got a really big move to the upside. We come all the way back down. So this for me is a bit of a false move to the upside, just to get completely erased. So this is a fake move. I'm looking at the market forming the next lower high and heading south. So I'm looking at pound NZD dropping, and these are the lower highs I'm looking at. We've got high 1 up there, lower high 2, lower high 3, potentially lower high 4. I'm waiting for the market to give me a lower high on the hourly, because we're still pushing to the upside like so. So either a double top or lower high, and I'll look to enter a trade here. But essentially for pound NZD, all I'm looking at is the market not breaking through this trend line here, because that's what's keeping the market bearish right now. And I'm looking at 1.91 and 1.88. Pound AUD looking at pretty much the same thing, but I'm not sure I'll get a trade for this one. I said at the start of the week, I was looking for a break and retest of the zone, and then some shorts back down here. But yeah, that break and retest doesn't look like it's going to come through. Again, I'm not too bothered, because pound NZD and pound AUD, they do kind of move the same way, so I'm not trying to trade both at the same time. But I do think I can find an opportunity for pound NZD soon, and shorts is what I'm going for, and those are my targets. Euro pound, I'm looking at this one pushing higher. I'm looking at euro pound heading back up to this level up there, and then this level up there, and then if I'm feeling brave, I'm looking at euro pound heading all the way up here as well in the long term. So euro pound I do have a bullish bias on. I'm expecting this to be the next higher low support. It's moving very corrective right now, so nice break and retest of this resistance will make a lot of sense there. And then, expecting euro pound to fly from that. And pound yen, I'm looking to see what happens at these areas here, because I missed the buys to go up, but if we can hold this, I do think we can roll over. So I'm going to be looking at some sells from up here, but yeah, I'm waiting for some confirmations to get involved. But yeah, those are the pairs I'm looking at. I'll see how they get going, but nothing right now. And then, like I said, nursing pound CHF. What about Euro AUD? It seems huge support. Euro, which indicator is best? Moving averages, in my opinion. Moving averages are a great indicator, really good indicator. There are some other good indicators, but I don't really use them. Fib is also good for some nice confluence to back up the levels that you draw. But yeah, moving averages are goated for me. Moving averages are a really good tool because they really help with how price is moving, and they're good because they provide dynamic support and resistance. So you've got your horizontal support and resistance with the levels, you've got your diagonal horizontal resistance. What did I just say there? Okay, let's rewind. You've got your horizontal resistance with the zones like so. You've got your diagonal support resistance with the trend lines, and then you've got your dynamic support resistance that moves with price, which is your moving averages. So moving averages for me are kind of the best indicator. They are lagged, they are delayed, so they will show setups slightly after it's happened, but with the way they move, if I just get for example, if I get the 50 EMA out, it's a great tool to use. You can see, again, not the best pair in the world, but you can see the way it reacts. Every time it tries to break through, it fakes up, eventually has a nice retest, boom to the downside, nice retest there, couple fakes above, nice retest there to the downside. Again, USD is probably a better pair to show. Really nice retest there, slight fake out, again slight fake out, but drop, test, couple fakes, but move to the upside, test. It happens repeatedly. It's a really good tool to use. And then use that in confluence with trend lines and support and resistance and candlesticks. You can get some really good powerful trades using it. Euro AUD, will take a look. Buy Euro AUD. Now I've got a feeling you're just kind of looking for a trade here, logo, which is not a good thing to be doing. But yeah, it's that strong support, but I wouldn't say it's that strong. Reason why it's not that strong is because last time we had a strong reaction from it, we failed to take out these highs. We failed to take out those highs. Price tried to move higher, but it failed. You can see we formed a lower high in respect to these highs up here. If this was a strong support, you would expect the market to push through and break those highs. So if you come back here again, this would be a great place to buy. Reason being, we are seeing price still push through the previous structure. The fact that the market hit this level, tried to push through and failed, means that yes, we might see a reaction, but it's likely going to form another lower high in respect to these up here, and the market's likely to eventually break through the support and head south. And this is probably where I'm seeing the market head next, because this support here gave us a really strong rally to the upside. So naturally, this would be a great place to buy at rather than this level here. So yeah, I'm expecting this level to break. We might see a push to the upside, yes, but it probably will break eventually. And if you're looking for buys, I'd say this is the better area to buy from 1.465. So yeah, that's my intake on that. But anyway, guys, we have come to the end of the stream. I hope you all enjoyed it, found it useful. If you are enjoying the content, please like, subscribe, hit the bell. That does really help. It does really help the channel out. And did I say subscribe? Yeah, I probably did. If actually no, I say it again. Subscribe, join the family. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the stream. Enjoy the rest of your day. Again, I will be live again tomorrow, so I hope I do see all of you again tomorrow. Like always, guys, I will be sharing setups on my Telegram if I do get anything there. So feel free to go and check that out. Link in the description. And also, if you do scroll to the top of the chat, it is there. If you are looking for a broker, IC Markets, the broker I'm currently using, I've got my affiliate link at the top of the chat. Feel free to use that if you want to. But yeah, if you are looking for a broker, IC Markets there. And if you're looking to join my Telegram, link to that in the description. But yeah, guys, we'll be live again tomorrow. So I hope I do see you guys. Hope I do see you guys there. But yeah, take care.